Oh, that's nonsense.
David's a sensitive child.
David is a psychopathic child, perhaps. Sensitive, I don't know. I guess he is sensitive to stimuli, but like, sensitive is not the first adjective I would use to describe the young man. Well, hello there, and a very happy Monday to our patrons. We are up to episode 132 of Dark Shadows. I am Joel Sharpton, your host, one half of the Articulate Coven, and this is my watch of the original supernatural soap opera, Dark Shadows. Don't forget, if you're watching these on YouTube, we are way ahead of you over on the Patreon, articulatecoven.com/join. $2 or more a month gets you access to everything we do early and ad-free, including one of these Dark Shadows videos every single weekday. All right, let's dive into this episode and see what's happening up at Collinwood.
David, it was only a dream. Try to go back to sleep.
I don't want to go back to sleep. I might have that dream again.
Darling, there's nothing to be afraid of. It was only a bad dream.
It's the scariest dream I ever had.
Well, try to forget about it. Would you like me to read to you?
Only babies get read to.
Forget that, sir. I get read to every day. I love an audiobook. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll try.
Good night, David.
Good night.
I'm assuming we're going to see it again in a minute, but I do want to acknowledge that house coat on Elizabeth.
Is anyone out there? Is anyone out there?
Okay, weak cold open on that one. I do feel bad for David, though. First of all, though, he said at one point in that cold open, it was the scariest dream he ever had. And the dream consisted of him hearing his mother call to him, say, come to her. Like, as I'm recording this, by the way, I just had someone tag me in our Facebook group and said, Joel, if you happen to have some extra cash lying around, the original Dark Shadows mansion is currently for sale. $28 million. It's like 29 bedrooms, I think, 44,000 and some odd square feet. It's in Rhode Island, by the way. The exterior shots here, at least, the house that's shooting, it's in Rhode Island, and it is currently for sale. Okay. We've literally never seen the whole family at the breakfast table like this. This is the first time in 130 episodes.
Aunt Elizabeth, do I have to study?
Do as Miss Winters says. If you finished your breakfast, go upstairs and do your lessons.
Okay.
I'll teach you long division if it kills me.
You'll probably kill me.
Okay, that is the most domestic bliss that we've seen so far on this show in one consistent length of the scene. And Roger was pretty short with him anyway. But genuinely, the only people we've seen in that room before, I think, were Mrs. Johnson and David.
More than a nightmare. You were there when he woke up. He was trembling all over.
Well, I'm glad that he was at least afraid. It proves that he's not at least more normal than I thought he was.
I'm glad you didn't mention last night. I want him to forget about it.
There is a very good example. I can't always tell. Somebody, a matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up here. There was a comment from a previous episode on YouTube. Okay, this was from J2299 on episode 113. Poor Burke. Can't believe you didn't catch Mrs. Johnson feeding his line to him. Get it together, man. LMAO. First of all, thank you for doing that. I will say, very often, I think the actors do a passable enough job rolling with the punches, so to speak, that it just feels like conversation, and maybe not the best dialogue, but it could be dialogue that someone wrote. Right there, it's fairly obvious Roger ran back and forth on that line in his head 3 or 4 times, couldn't remember exactly the way it went, and then just paraphrased it for himself, right, to keep it moving. This is the thing that happens when you have a show that was effectively shooting live to tape like they were. Okay, speaking of, since we're focusing on him here, this was on episode 115 from Holly Van Wy. Lewis Edmonds made Roger such a fun character, and I can see why they chose not to kill him off. Thayer David was another one of my favorites, and he'll come back later to play different roles. Yes, Holly, we know that, and I'm excited to see Thayer when he shows up for the first time. This is not exactly about Roger, but here we go. From episode 113, City Dweller 99 says some trivia on this episode. This episode was the last episode written by scriptwriter Francis Swan. According to some diehard fans of Dark Shadows, Francis was known more for character studies as opposed to the next batch of scriptwriters that were very focused on action and plot. And I will say, after 113, things get very actiony and plotty. You're very right. Anytime this writer wrote an episode, meaning Francis Swan, mention was always made about Vicky and her quest to find her identity. That is very interesting. Thank you for that, City Dweller. They also say in this particular episode, the conversation between David and Burke revealed a hint on what the next big storyline would be, and also mentioned David's theory about Vicky and her possible connections to the Collins family. My guess is that David and Burke, I don't remember the specifics that City Dweller is mentioning there, but my guess is that David and Burke had said something about David's mother, since she comes in pretty quickly after that. All right, there we go. I don't always notice when they flub lines like this, but this one was obvious. Thanks, everybody, for the feedback. I love it when you guys comment. Sometimes if you're on YouTube, you're not going to get that feedback mentioned until, quite a bit later, but still, I do try to mention them as often as I can.
He was 5 years old. She's about as real to him as one of his imaginary ghosts.
You're fishing for excuses.
Excuses?
Don't want to see.
Boy, Lewis Edmonds having a day, isn't he? He didn't get to read this script in time.
But if I did want him, what difference would it make? If Lara decides to take this to court, they usually award the custody of the child to the mother anyway.
Genuinely, the dialogue in this scene is like neither one of these people have ever looked at the notes before.
Well, I am sure that Laura is all right. I will not allow her to have David. I don't care if she does take it to court. I'll fight her. I'll fight everyone to keep him here, including you.
Okay, there were several, as unhinged as that scene was as far as the performances go on the scripting, there were several lines in there that would have worked much better as a cold open. I wish you would have swapped the scenes between Roger and Elizabeth and the scene with David in his bedroom. I think that would have made a better cold open to start this episode.
Why don't you hate me?
That's an odd question.
Well, you should.
Should I?
Yes. I left you tied up in the old house.
Never mind that time before when you locked her up in the room in the East Wing. Remember? Pepperidge Farms remembers.
Is that I used to get all mixed up and mad, too. Because I had no one to talk to.
Like a mother or a father?
Yes.
You're nicer than I thought you were when you first came here.
That makes me very happy, David.
It only took you like 6 months to warm up to her, huh, David?
I used to want my mother to come back more than anything.
Used to?
I'm not so sure I want her to anymore.
Well, that's an interesting turn of events. I guess it really was a nightmare, apparently, and he's a little spooked off by her. Wonder if they're gonna make Laura some sort of witch.
Laura is coming back to this house, and she will want to see David. Now, what are you going to do about it?
I don't know, but I don't think it's wise to let her see David.
Well, how do you plan to stop her? She has every legal right to see the boy if she wants to see him.
Boy, that's a far cry from the other day when you were like, she may have that right. She's got every legal right, huh? I guess he read up on it.
Well,
I'm worried about the effect it would have on David.
I don't understand, David.
Okay, not exactly a magical transition there. The editing on this one is not so fantastic, but they were hinting at it at least. They wanted to do it.
Will you call me when you're feeling better?
Sneaky Pete ditching school. If you're scared of your mama, what are you ditching school to do here exactly? That's what I thought he was. I thought he wanted to play hooky so maybe his mother would come sneak back up on the playground. He thought he saw her the other day. Well, I guess that answers one of my questions. Roger's going to have to get his own firewood instead of having Matthew do it now, huh? At least they didn't make Mrs. Johnson do it.
You know, Liz, you've always prided yourself on your reputation of being fair, but in this case, I don't think you're being fair in the least.
Well, I'm trying to be.
You've always had it in for Laura, admit it.
I wouldn't go that.
Okay. What is Roger doing here? Because we're all assuming Roger's the one that had her locked up, right? I mean, Roger's the one that sent her to the sanitarium and then theoretically, assumedly, sent her away.
She seems to have developed I don't know how to put it, a quiet strength.
Well, don't you think that speaks well for her?
As far as it goes. But Laura's virtually a stranger to us, and particularly to David. And I'm not going to turn David over to a stranger until I get to know her much better.
Don't you think he should be...
I mean, he was told, right? Wasn't he told last night when they grabbed him running out the door? Maybe not.
My wife. She's back in Collinsport and she wants to see David.
That's very odd.
What is?
David was just talking about her.
Oh? What did he say about her?
Well, she was in his dream. He seemed afraid of her.
Afraid?
Oh, that's nonsense.
David's a sensitive child.
David is a psychopathic child, perhaps. Sensitive, I don't know. I guess he is sensitive to stimuli, but like, sensitive is not the first adjective I would use to describe the young man.
Vicky, would you ask David to come down here, please?
What if he's still asleep?
Then wake him. It's very important.
They're ticking this off like the end of the episode, but I don't think we're there yet, are we?
David, don't be difficult. I want to see you. Now go on and scoot.
Do I have to?
Yes, you have to.
Might as well get it over with.
Get what over with?
Okay. I genuinely don't know what is, but if he's that frightened of her, why is he calling her name out the window? What are they doing with this fella?
My mother's here, isn't she? It's true, isn't it?
Why, yes, David, it is.
Did Miss Winters tell you?
No. I've known since last night.
How?
I saw her in my dream. I saw a lady in a blue coat. She sat over there, and she kept looking into the fire and calling my name. I knew she was my mother because she wanted to take me away.
Probably his best performed scene of the whole show so far. Excellent work, David.
Can I go to my room now?
Well, don't you want us to tell you more about your mother?
I know all there is to know. Can I go?
I suppose so, if you want to.
Creepy little kid.
He said she kept staring into the fire, and I noticed that, too. Now, how in the world could he have known all those things?
He probably saw Laura.
He couldn't have. He was sound asleep when she was here.
We thought he was asleep. He must have sneaked down and taken a peek. That's the only logical explanation I can think of.
It's logical, but I wonder if it's correct.
Boy, that's great. That's great wording. It's logical, but I wonder if it's correct. It's not correct. First of all, he didn't sneak down there. Also, that's what I'm going to say now anytime there's some, like, slightly on the outs, I don't know. I'm a Bigfoot guy, right? Like, I don't think everybody who ever said they saw Bigfoot actually saw Bigfoot, but I do think the idea that there's a large primate out there somewhere that we haven't discovered yet is entirely possible. It's already happened a couple of times in the not so distant past, right? So, like, yeah. Anyway, it's logical, but I wonder if it's correct.
Mother, I can feel you watching me. Are you out there? Are you out there?
All right, that's going to be our episode ending, I'm guessing. Okay, let's just give it up for our boy. What an excellent performance there from David. I mean, genuinely one of the best ones. Really salvaged what was a ho-hum episode otherwise, I thought. We will be back almost immediately for patrons. We'll see you on Tuesday with episode 133. If you're watching these on YouTube, don't forget, patrons get one episode every weekday, 5 a week, and we're way ahead of you if you're watching these on YouTube. So go check out articulatecoven.com/join. $2 or more a month. Get you access to everything we do early and ad-free. I'll be back before you know it with episode 133